behalf of the principal, the management and staff of Don Bosco College, Panjim, I welcome our guest today, Sachin Borate, who is the Assistant Commissioner PF, and we also have Queenie Wallace, who is the Enforcement Officer at the PF office in Panjim. Today's seminar is in line with the Vigilance Awareness Week organized by the Employees Provident Fund Organization, and the topic is moving towards a corruption-free society. Okay. We'll also have Team Veerbhadra Swami, who is the Regional Commissioner, joining us later for this program. We would first start with a small introduction by each student on the topic, followed by discussion. Okay, and then we'll have Mr. Sachin Borate, who will give us a few concluding words. Okay, so we'll start with the discussion. First, we have Vinith Costa from second year BBM Travel and Tourism.
Good morning, everyone. And I'm going to speak on making India corruption free. Power does not corrupt people, but fear does. Perhaps the fear to lose that power. Corruption is a social evil. It is the abuse of trusted power for corrupted gain. It hurts everyone whose life, livelihood and happiness depends on the integrity of people in position of authority. It is an unethical method used by a person to gain advantage over others for any undue favor, for some monetary gain or any other gain in return. Simultaneously, depriving the genuinely deserving from their right or privilege is also a corrupt practice. Shrinking from one's duty or dereliction of duty are also forms of corruption. Today, corruption is one of the greatest factors hindering development and hampering the realization of democracy in India by affecting its growth adversely. It affects a nation's development economically, socially and politically. It reduces the government's income and creates inequalities in distribution of income and wealth. Corruption is caused as well as increased because of the change in the value system and ethical qualities of men who administer. The old ideals of morality, service and honesty are regarded as old-fashioned today. Tolerance of people towards corruption, complete lack of intense public outcry against corruption, and the absence of strong public forums to oppose corruption allow corruption to reign over people. Vast size of population coupled with widespread illiteracy and the poor economic structure lead to endemic corruption in public life today. Complex laws and procedures alienate common people to ask for any help from the government. Election time is a time when corruption is at its peak level. Big industrialists fund politicians to meet high costs of elections and ultimately to seek personal favor. Bribery to politicians buys influence, and bribery by politicians buys votes. In order to get elected, politicians bribe poor illiterate people who are then in return expected to vote for them as a result. But in a narrow sense, corruption in India is mostly concerned with bribery, and then it takes several other forms. Corruption is now a global problem common in both developed and developing countries. It creates a negative atmosphere. It worsens our image in the international market and leads to loss of overseas opportunities. Our country is still a developing country. And the main reason for it is huge amounts of corruption going on at every level of administration, be it at the topmost level or the lowest. People have become materialistic and money-oriented. There is no importance of ethics and morals in business dealings, and a corrupted person never thinks about the country other than his or her own personal gain, whose main intention is to increase his or her earnings through unauthorized work. Corruption in India is the main result of poverty and also for the poor growth of the country. We will be able to see a fully developed nation only when the so-called corruption is totally eliminated from India. Nowadays, people not only want to make money, but they want to earn it in a really quick manner. To remove corruption, people should have leadership qualities in a sense that the person should do his or her own work without anyone's help. One should be confident enough to find themselves a job through their own capability. People have to be educated as well. They should know their rights, how to use them and where to use them. For example, if a contractor is doing road work with low quality materials, the reason behind it, he has paid the local cooperator, MLA or engineer to get that job, so obviously he has engaged in corruption. Then we should raise our voice because we have the right to do so. If any government employee asks for money to get one's work done, then we have the right to complain against him instead of giving him a small bribe. And that will create fear in other employees, although it might not fully stop, but at least one can be an example for others to reduce corruption. Corruption is a very sensitive issue, and every Indian should realize their responsibility and start making efforts which can help in building a corruption-free nation. So it is our responsibility and duty to reduce corruption. If we start work from today, our next generation will definitely be able to see a corruption-free India. If one isn't panicking yet, one should, because corruption is the single biggest obstacle in India's path today. It has already affected over 50% of all Indians, and in a land of 1 billion, that's more than 500 million victims. On an average, every victim has been affected, not once, not twice, but 6 times. Therefore, it's high time we take a stand against this social evil. To root out the evil of corruption from our society can only be possible if people understand and start to believe the values of ethics and morality in their lives. Corruption begins with a yes. What if we start saying no? By following our own ethics and morals, things can change drastically, and indeed there can be a difference. It is a must for all individuals to develop and inculcate healthy attitudes of honesty and dedication in all their work at all times. Special courts can be set up to take up such issues, promoting speedy trials and inexpensive justice so that cases don't linger in courts for years and justice is delivered on time. Declarations of property and assets of government employees should be made compulsory, and routine and surprise inspections and raids be conducted at certain intervals. Decisions of the commission or authority should be challengeable only in the courts. Those caught indulging in corruption activities should be punished severely and not set scot-free. A comprehensive code of conduct with foolproof laws should be made for politicians, legislatures, bureaucrats, so that there is no room for discretion for politicians and bureaucrats. The role of the politician should be minimized. Law and order machinery should be allowed to work without political interference. such a code should be strictly enforced in a way that no independent authority is prone to bias. Funding of elections is at the core of political corruption. Electoral reforms are crucial in this regard. Several reforms like state funding of election expenses for candidates, strict enforcement of statutory requirements like holding in party elections, making political parties get their accounts audited regularly and filling income tax returns, denying persons with criminal records a chance to contest elections should be brought in. NGOs and media should come forward to create awareness against corruption in our society and educate people to combat this evil. Only then we would be able to save our system from being collapsed. Thank you.
Sir and respected sir and madam, my name is Antonio Rodriguez. I am from BBA department, Travel and Tourism first year. My introduction to corruption. Corruption, I would say in few words, is something very addictive. Some people do not know what is corruption. It's something you start, you get addicted to it. One of the main causes to corruption is institution. Institution is the worst way to reduce corruption. First way, to reduce corruption, or the first way to increase corruption in our society. When anything goes wrong in our society, it is the rules in the institution change. Like in the recent years, 8th standard, even if the student fails, they pass them directly. Without the student understanding how the society works, then I would say one of the main causes of corruption in our society is people having greed. Then the MLAs in our society, they are not educated sometimes. They don't understand how the society works. And the MLAs in our society, they promise us with great things. Then we the people, we vote for them, but in return we don't get in return. How should we drive against corruption? First thing, as students, the youth should know what is going on in society. Like, first thing, some of the youth in Goa itself drive without license. That is one thing, how we be part of corruption. When we get our license, that is one thing, first step of being against corruption. When we get caught without license, sometimes itself we pay not to get caught. So when we have license, we actually, we stand up against corruption. First thing is that we should respect our police officers. Sometimes we disrespect them, and then that makes them, angry and like assault, and that one step makes them be corrupt officers. Thank you.
Good morning, sir and ma'am. Good morning, friends. I'm going to speak on corruption. Corruption in India is a major issue that adversely affects its economy. Corruption is defined as a dishonest or fraudulent conduct by those in power, typically involving bribery. Government or political corruption occurs when an office holder or employee acts in an official capacity for personal gain. The causes of corruption in India include excessive regulations, complicated taxes, and licensing system. Numerous government departments, each with opaque bureaucracy and discretionary powers, monopoly by government-controlled institutions on certain goods and services, and the lack of transparent laws and processes. People often think that corruption is just a way of life, but every society, sector and individual will benefit from saying no to this corruption. Educate the public about the government's responsibility and to be corruption free. Raise awareness with the public, media and government about the cost of corruption for key services such as health and education. Engage the youth of the country about what ethical behavior is, what corruption is, and how to fight it, and to demand their right to education. Report incidents of corruption, create an environment where the rule of law prevails. Refuse to participate in any activity that are not legal and transparent. Foster economic stability by enforcing zero tolerance towards corruption. Strong internal control and accountability mechanism enables anti-corruption agencies to carry out their mission and avoid internal abuse that can damage their credibility. Useful procedures include those that focus on recruitment, training and active management of staff integrity, as well as ensuring the highest ethical standards by agency leadership. External support is critical for anti-corruption agency to outflank powerful opponents. The anti-corruption agency should sought to gain media support by training its prosecutors in media relations, breaking down their reluctance to talking to media while giving them the skill to do so. Ultimately, citizens themselves can serve as an anti-corruption agency, most tenacious defenders. And awareness and education are seen most often as tools to directly tackle corruption. But successful efforts to change norms and behavior in government and society can also help anti-corruption agencies. The agency should prosecute both bribe takers and bribe givers. This will go on a long way in making India corruption free. Thank you.
Good morning, sir, ma'am, teachers, and my dear friends. My name is Andrea Fernandez, and I am from first year's BBA Travel and Tourism Department. Now, I would like to give my views on corruption. Corruption is the abuse of bestowed power or position to acquire a personal benefit. It degrades the quality of services and also ruins the life of common man. The extensive role of the Indian state is providing services and promoting economical development has always created the opportunity for using public resources for private benefit. Money and power has ruled men, and it has come to a stage where if common man needs any kind of help from the government sector or business arena, you too have to end up taking the corrupt route. So lots of speeches go around speaking about morality. Behind the doors, it's money that rules. For any kind of work to be done, one has to know the back door and spend great amounts of money to get the work done. In every sector, bureaucrats and politicians influence with power and money in such a manner that even the talented and most efficient people in the respective sectors would not be surviving on recruited for the matter. It has become very difficult for the common man or the righteous to survive. They are taken for granted and hence taken for a ride. Reasons that breed corruption. Lack of strict and fast punishments. When someone is found guilty or even caught by the anti-corruption officials or media, the convicts get less punishment. When the violators know the litigation process can drag on for years, with likelihood of no strict punishment, they tend to continue on their tracks. Low pay scales. Public sector employment is a source of corrupt practice when pay scales vary significantly from the private sector. People are paid way too low for adequate sustenance of life. This makes them vulnerable to unethical practices. Lack of transparency in government affairs. Many seat selection processes like education contracts for job, employee income reports, etc. lack transparency. Lack of transparency leaves loopholes to be employed by the workers. The recent scams stand witnesses to such over-centralization. People who are ignorant do not know about the process, provisions and procedures through which they can get justice. It is also due to unawareness in the field of law, public rights and procedures thereof that the common man suffers out of the corrupt society. Creating an awareness among the people by educating people through seminars, giving them basic political knowledge to understand their rights well and in effects of corruption in our country and the consequences we'll have to face. The right to information should be used for transparency against it. The law must support law enforcement with a cutting edge. In corruption offences, both the giver and the receiver are guilty parties who have the motivation to hide and not to tell the truth. Therefore, the law must provide sufficient teeth for law enforcement. This has to come to an end, and we need to reach a situation where every Indian should feel and say that they are living in a corrupt-free land and be proud of it. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Lisa Marie, and I'll just give you a brief on corruption, the causes, and prevention. Corruption is one of the biggest threats to Indian society. In a few words, in one sentence rather, corruption is anything like a person that goes against the law, okay, for his own personal gains and not for, they don't care about the society. That is corruption in one sentence. Corruption degrades the quality of service and ruins the life of a common man. Now, corruption can be seen in various places. For instances, you have like jobs, businesses, promotions, etc. You have elections. Like for jobs, people will go, and if they do not get like a particular job that they want, they directly, take out a bribe or bribe the person in charge and directly get their job. Okay, so the thing is, in Indian society, we don't care and we don't have that ethics and that conscience to think, okay, fine, this is wrong, we're not doing it in the right way. If we take a bribe, it's something wrong that we're doing. We just directly go for it. Okay, fine, we're earning extra money, so might as well take it. Okay, then for elections, as Vinay said, it is, during election time, the most money is spent. You have this thing wherein, in India, you don't have just one or two political parties. You can just come up with your own parties. Okay, so then now you have recently the Aam Aadmi Party. Okay, so they just came up with theirs, and once you win the election, then you require money, obviously, because you have to show the people who have voted for you that you have money in your pocket. So then again, to get this money, you need lots of money. People go to, different measures, and they take like wrong measures. They go through bribes and stuff like that with their connections, and that's how they gain their money. A study conducted by the Transparency International in 2005 said that in India, 62% of the Indians have had first-hand experience in paying of bribes. Okay, so 62%, which is a very high number. Also, India is ranked 94th out of 176 countries in the Transparency International Corruption Perception Index. So we are like 94th, which is very, very high as compared to the rest of the countries. The more corruption, the slower is the economic growth. Other effects include rise of inflation, which I'll explain later, increase in black money, unstable marketplace, risk of investment, and thus in the end the rich become richer and poor become poorer. The various causes of corruption include low paying scales. So basically, when people go for people working in the government offices and all, they are not paid highly, they are paid low. So then, when a person comes up to you and you want your job to be done fast, you directly offer a bribe, and those people are ready to raise their income by taking those bribes. That's basically how it works in the government. Low job opportunities. I explained to you that if you do not get, you study a lot, like say for example we do our masters next year, okay, and we go to get our jobs, but then again you have someone who has not done his masters, or someone who has connections with, you know, the education or with the job that we are going for. Okay, basically they just pay their money, or they take the certificates because they can, and that's how they get the job, and then the people who have actually worked hard for it do not get an opportunity. Lack of ill fame. Okay, now the thing is, people who are caught doing corruption or carrying out corruption, they are never criticized, or they never put, you know, on the stand. They are rather, they are like, people think of it like, you know, okay fine, they have money, so let's just put them at a higher level, and then these are the same people who become the heads of the parliament and stuff like that. Like most of our people who are in charge right now are corrupt, if you go to see. Next you have is lack of transparency in affairs. There's this new thing which is the right to information, wherein, you know, you can get your information, like you know, like suppose there's this thing, when you go for a job, you have a selection process. Now in the selection process, you have there's this thing called the right to information, wherein, you know what your whether, you know, if anyone else is giving a bribe and getting through that job, or you're doing it like yourself. Options of many political parties, like I explained to you, you can come up with your own political party again, and then if you win the election because you need to make more money, that's when people go for bribes and they earn extra money, and that's how they carry on their party. Lack of accountability. The government, okay, this is a big trend in corruption. Okay, like suppose for example there are 100 files. Okay, the government will they're supposed to finish the 100 files in say a week. Okay, whereas the government, knowing, like you see our own government, they'll finish only 50 files. So again, the people who, say for example, the people in the rest of the remaining 50 files that have to be completed need it really, really urgently. Okay, so the only other resource that they can go through is by paying money. Okay, so basically, if you speed up the government, like the government gets better measures and they speed up their process, then people will not have to resort to such measures, of paying the government to get their work done. Then you have prevention. You can increase, the ways of prevention of corruption can be increase the paying of civil servants, so raise their income so that they don't have to look to other measures. There's this thing, establishing international conventions. You have the UN Convention Against Corruption. Okay, so basically what they look into are they include domestic and foreign corruption, developing nations, extortion prevention measures, anti-money laundering provisions, conflicts of interest laws. Then, so basically they look after everything that is against corruption. So if we look to these people, we look to establishing international conventions, it will be better for India as a whole. Okay, one more thing that is very important is make media responsible to fix the laws. Okay, now see, media is one way that you can expose corruption, the largest way in which you can expose corruption. Okay, but the thing is, with the media itself, people bribe the media, like you have the MLAs and all who will give you like money and say, okay fine, although you caught me doing this, but I'm giving you so and so money, so do not expose it. So then again you have the media which is involved in corruption. So there should be like, laws and punishment that has to be like really strict. Like if you take Dubai for example, okay, if they have this law called the Sharia law. Now under the Sharia law you have to like follow their rules and regulations. If you're caught just drinking in public, okay, you are banned from the country. So it's like that serious. In India it's not possible to get to that level directly, but I think like step by step you can reach there. Like, basically just start with like a punishment saying like, 1 year imprisonment. Okay, fine. So no one like, okay, fine, the person has not committed murder or something like that. So, everyone will think logically, do I want to go into jail for 1 year just because of corruption? So then, because of that, they are scared of going into jail. Then they will probably stop it. So like, start with one step at a time and then reach the end. Keeping inflation low. When inflation is low, then obviously there are no price rises and all, so then people do not have to spend more, people are not becoming more greedy, so they don't look for other measures wherein they can gain money to support their family. So inflation in the country has to be low. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
All friends gave their views on corruption, what it is, exactly and how it is caused and what are the consequences on us of corruption. So I would like to give my views. I think if every citizen of a country will become honest, then that country will surely grow by leaps and bounds. Honesty leads to growth, development and progress in all aspects of life and society. The opposite of honesty is corruption. In India, the epidemic of corruption is spreading rapidly in every field and department. Like contractors and builders are constructing big and low standard roads, bridges and houses. Students are engaged in mass copying. Teachers and examining body are indulged in leaking out question paper. Doctors prescribe unnecessary medicine and pathology examination for commissions. Traders are engaged in overcharging, adulteration and underweighting. Government officers take bribe for doing or sectioning any work on contracts. Scams in banks, financial institutions, sports, defense department, religious places, government projects are the order of the day. It has been biggest threat to the social and economical development of India. There is tremendous loss of national wealth due to various scams. According to the sources, in 2015, India was ranked 85th out of the 175 countries in Transparency International's Corruption Perception Index, compared to its neighbors, Bhutan, which was ranking 38th, Bangladesh was ranking 145th, Myanmar was ranking 156th, China 100, Nepal 126, Pakistan 126, and Sri Lanka was ranking 75th. As we all know that our country is much better and so good in many fields. Why corruption we are like so behind? Why in corruption is so strong in our country? So as we all know that corruption is very bad thing. It inhibits the individual growth as well as society and country growth and development. It is social evil which is playing humans' body and mind socially, economically and intellectually. It is continuously making its roots so deeply because of increased human greediness towards money, power and position. So finally, it's we who are the real cause of corruption, and it's we who can control corruption, and also it's we who have to bear consequences of corruption. So let's be together and control corruption. Thank you.
Good morning everyone. I'm going to tell you all about corruption. I'll start off with a quote. Corruption is a social evil. Okay? Power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Okay? Corruption is not something that's new, not a few 50 years back. It's been there from British times when the British were here. It's been there for a long time. Okay? It's just that the amount of corruption has increased. It's slow by slow. Before it was like 1 rupee, 2 rupees. Now it's thousands of crores of money that's being in scams and all. So if you talk about corruption, you can go on and on. I don't want to do that because everyone knows how corrupt each one of us is, okay, and how corrupt our leaders are. Okay. India is ranked 85th according to some of my friends in the corruption index, which is actually pretty good because we are not that ahead. Brazil and other areas there are far corrupt in here. So basically we can reduce corruption. It's impossible to eradicate corruption completely because as a tree the roots go down and down. So basically it's impossible to remove the whole root. So basically it's impossible to remove corruption completely, but you can reduce it. How can we reduce it? Basically ourselves being proper and intellectual people thinking alike, doing the right thing. Okay? If you start from the bottom and go to the top, it's possible that you can reduce corruption to a certain extent that India will not even be on that list of corruption index. Okay? And for this to happen, each one of us should work towards this idea and give their inputs. Thank you.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir, and my respected faculty members and my friends. As you all know, why we are here, I mean, for corruption, for a panel discussion. Since you all know, my friends have given you a brief introduction introduction of corruption and I'll add little more to it. Nowadays, corruption can be seen everywhere. It's like a cancer in public life, which has not become so perpetuated overnight, but in a course of time. A country where leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, Sardar Patel, Lal Bahadur Shastri and Ram Raj have taken birth and led a value base is now facing a problem of corruption. When we talk about corruption in public life, it covers corruption in politics, state government, central government, businesses, industries and so on. Public dealings with counters in most of the government offices and the place where corruption most evident. If anybody does not pay for the work, it is sure that work will be done. It is always crying for money. It has been seen the offices who are deputed to look into the matter of corruption turn out to be corrupt. Our leaders too are not less corrupt. Thus, this network of corruption goes on as usual and remain undeterred. Everybody knows that criminals have no morals. Hence, nothing good can be except from them. But police are supposed to be the symbol of law and order and discipline. Even they indulge in corruption. This is more so because they enjoy unlimited powers and there is no action against them. Even on complaint and sufficient proof of abuse of offices, aristocrats and the high attendants. The steps should be taken to correct the situation overall. Liquidation of property and asset of government employees are made compulsory and routine, and a surprise inspection and a trade conducted at certain intervals. Though it seems very difficult to control the corruption, but not impossible. It is not only responsible of the government, but us too. We can eliminate corruption if there will be a joint effort. We must have some high principles to follow so that we may be models for the coming generation. Let us take a view to create an environment free from corruption that will be our highest achievement as a human being. Corruption is primarily seen in sense like jobs, businesses, promotion, election campaigns, sports, etc. I'll name few of the corruption or the causes of corruption. First one is low pay scales and wages. Most employees in the government do not get their salary as per their work. They are not satisfied with their salary. So what they really do is they are forced to bribe the public to get their work done. Second is low job opportunities. This is another cause of corruption. Due to lack of job opportunities at will, there are many people who like to go for corruption mode to get the job offer. They will be ready to pay lump of amount for a job offer to get highest official and or politics. Lack of unity in public. As we know that unity shows how what really a person can do or the country can do. Example, if the public stands united against corruption in such way that no one is ready to offer bribes to get their work done and the corrupt officials will have no other work to do, no other option to do but to work in the corruption-free manner. So why we want India to become corruption-free manner? I mean, why we want India to work as corruption-free manner? Example like you can see Singapore and Hong Kong. Once upon a time, Hong Kong and Singapore were the country were corrupted totally, and now you see Singapore and Hong Kong are anti-corrupted. So we really want India to be anti-corrupted, like we want India to join Hong Kong and Singapore. So prevention, what we can do is, or rather how we can get rid of the corruption thing. India has been facing the problems of unemployment and underemployment since long. The problems of unemployment are more prevalent in urban areas, while several people are finding it difficult to find jobs of their choice. Some other become victim of unemployment due to corrupt practice of employees. This includes recruiting the candidates by taking bribe or donation. Also in several companies, especially public sector, the recruitment is based on the caste of the people rather than the merits. Owing to such corrupt, a lot of deserving youngsters are denied work opportunities. Owing to the corruption, one of the most adverse problems faced by India's economy is the alarming growth of regional difference among Indian states, the drastic linearity of per capita income. In the social economy development, poverty and lack of good infrastructure facilities. The economic disparity is clearly reflected by the fact that nearly 40 to 50% people living in Orissa and other states live below the poverty line, while the rich are growing richer and the poor are becoming increasingly poor. Due to the large-scale corruption prevailing in almost all the sectors, among all the developing countries has the largest budget deficit, reducing in corruption will increase the scope for investment in public services like education and health facilities. A large-scale awakening by mass for anti-corruption state will lead to safer and healthy community. Without corruption, India will experience tremendous progress in diverse fields and will be forced to reckon with the international arena. Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, teachers and my dear friends. Basically, corruption is just when a person has authority or power, he abuses it to get his own personal gain. Corruption is a disease that affects everything. It affects jobs, government officials, even sports. You've all heard about the Commonwealth Games, the IPL. It's one of the major scams in India. So basically, the main reason why corruption happens is because, first of all, rest of my friends have said it, right? Low pay scale, low job opportunities. These are the main reason why corruption happens. Corruption basically it happens because when a person doesn't get paid enough and he cannot provide for his family, he wants to do something, to support his family. So he doesn't mind taking a bribe so that he can feed his family. Okay, so to stop that, our government should provide a better pay scale for its employees. So doing so, they won't take bribes and all that stuff. Also, the government of India should increase the judicial power. Of our courts. You see, when a person is caught in corruption, he's usually suspended for a month, a week, maybe a year. But later the guy is back in the same place, in another place, okay, doing the same job. So what's the use of catching a guy and wasting so much money of putting him in jail and all that other stuff? Also, corruption happens because suppose say you want to build a bridge. Okay, a certain amount is quoted. A contractor will take his share. Okay, suppose now say there's a lakh to build a bridge. A contractor will take say around 30. Another person will take 20. So there's only 50,000 left to make a bridge. How are you going to build a bridge? So then they have to use their methods, low quality cement, and all that stuff. So basically that's why what happens. Okay, how do you stop corruption? My recommendation would be improve education. Education why? Because see, if you are educated enough, you know your rights, you know what you have to do, what's wrong and what's right. So you can actually improve and reduce corruption slowly by little, one step at a time. The second thing I would say is increase the unity in the fight of corruption. Today I am talking about corruption. We spoke about corruption. You all agree to whatever we said. Are you all with us? Are you all ready to fight against corruption? Exactly. So we have to stand together to protect our country. So that one day we can say, okay, fine, India is a corruption-free state country. So basically that's the thing. We have to fight, stand together and fight, and we have to stop corruption. Thank you.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir. My name is Vaibhav Vinod Patte. I am from S5 BBA Travel and Tourism. Corruption, exactly everyone has explained, I think so. But yeah, in my ways, corruption is a virus. We can say as Skynet in a filmy way, because it has, like Skynet has covered entire machineries. The same way corruption has corrupted entire different departments, like government offices. Everywhere you can see this. If we see the history of this corruption, it started from British time. When British they came, to spoil the plans of Indians. They bribed the people, and our own people, because of that, they shared the plans, and we were not able to get that time of freedom. There are two types. You can say that bribes and thieves. Bribes, people now also they take that. Even usually people do for jobs, and they usually go there. You can see ministers usually take that bribes, and they promote to the employees. Second is thieves, where this is the one type of corruption in which people usually they're working in the company, and they will take some share to their personal use, or they will some share money, and they will run from them. That's the second type of corruption. The causes, we can say that problem is low salary and opportunity also, because you can see that opportunity if in a government office, if a person is there but he is new, but he is very talented, but he will not get the promotion, because before that the person who is senior, he will get the seniority is the first thing for government office. Second is there is no strict punishment for them. If a person is corrupted, if he is caught, then he will be better. He will maybe suspended for 1 year or 2 years, or he will be transferred. First, they will see that if he is corrupted, then suspend him, and if he continues the same thing, he will be transferred. But nothing is done. The third is there are a lot of political party. If a party is there, if he thinks that I will be honest, I will do that. In a business person, if he goes there, he is not accepting the money bribe, but there is other options of other politics party. So that person will support the other one. So the politician, if he is honest, still he is honest, but he cannot be getting the money because he will not get support from other people. Then he will be thrown out of the seat. Second, there is no proper department which can be covering them, who can find out what is going on. There is no proper system in this. We can see if we go there, as someone in our group said that, like Mr. Lisa said that, that 50 files are, 100 files are there, only 50 files will go. The same thing is because there is no proper, people don't know how to go further about this. There is no proper information how to write that, or they are not educated what is there. So that is a big problem. And unity. Personally, people are not united. Secondly, when they go there, they usually give the money. They will not, other people who try to stop him, they will say, if you want to do the job, just give it. Others are not forcing. So people be quiet, because of their quietness, people take bribes. Way to reduce corruption is we have to give knowledge for education of just not to know that what is our rights and all, but also to know what is going on in the system. Like you can see in every government office, their systems are changing. You have to add some new documents like Aadhaar card and all that. It's come add, but people don't know, and it is like wasting their time. If there is any inquiry counter where they can get information what documents are required, how you can get that, so then it will make easy for the people to go further, and it will not save their time. They will know where to go first, what documents are required, so they can collect and they can give that. Then we require a system where people must, the government office has to know, like internet, like passport office, you can find out about the numbers, and you will find out what is the procedure, like in Snapdeals and all. So that things has to be in that, like if it is passed or what. So when the if the record is there, then the other high authority will know that the files are gone or how many files are pushed and how many are sanctioned. If that is known, then there will be less corruption of this. If there are certain, like in Hong Kong, and as Ms. Nureen Sheikh has said about that corruption, they have Hong Kong and Singapore, they have their own departments. If they can, who can recover and they also catch that. The same department, if we have that, then we can find out they can be like supervising them, or sometimes we see in movies and all that, like cameras and all are there. So they can disguise and they can go as a normal person and they can catch red-handed and they can suspend them or they can remove him for the job also. So that will be one of the big solutions for this. And as cameras, not only them but also local people who can, there are spy cameras. We see that you can see spy cameras are so much famous. If we people can, many people can do cameras of girls and make an MMS, then why they cannot make the MMS of the person? There is you can say that some people force the other down, higher authority will force the second authority to take the bribe. They actually force the person. We can have a counseling about that. Some person who can come and check them and counseling them about that. Really you are forced or what is going on. And they have to show him the fear of that. If you found, you will be thrown out of the place. So they can speak about the corruption thing and it will be much more easier. Then especially they can start this greedy competition among the greediness. Because you've seen human psychology, poison is the same mentality is our human. They will they want from others, like our wants will day by day increase. Like corruption is like bribe is like a huge this hunger which increase by day. The same thing happens with the things. He will see that and he can complain about him, and the other person will be little bit scared about him that this person can complain about me. And if the complaint says that you will get the job if you complain about him, then if you give me a proof about him and will give you the same job, then people will be keeping an eye on them and they will do their work. We can see that there is no motivation in offices of government offices. Like if someone is absent and that person is doing that work, then he will be like the other person will not be interested in doing such thing. He will say, oh, this is not my job, or I'm doing something for you, like favor for you, big favors. So I think so it's better to have a motivation for them also, like increase salary or some motivation part. Like in our tourism industry, we have two goals, like satisfy customers and satisfy employees. If we have the schemes for them, so we can even have for this motivation for our government office or local peoples.
All the panelists, the commissioners and the students. As a part of the Vigilance Awareness Week, we have conducted education competitions in the schools, and for the colleges we had the panel discussions. It was really heartening to know like children coming up with a lot of various solutions for this evil, social evil. And you people also have voiced out a lot of things. Ultimately, I will conclude saying it is with each one of us as an individual. We have to put forth our morals forward and kill this evil of corruption. So each one of us decide that we are not going to do it. Then I think so nobody can stop us, and it will go a long way to kill this evil. Saying these few words, I conclude this program. I thank the management for giving us this platform to have this awareness, and I thank all you panelists for putting forth your views. I thank the Commissioner for being here with us, and as a token of gratitude, we'll be giving you mementos.
Nureen Sheikh. Lisa Barua, Daniela Fernandez, Renuka Sunar, Andrea Fernandez, Vaibhav Phate, Gwyneth Gracious Da Costa, Antonio Zacharia,